Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now, today is Sunday, so you know what that means. We're going around the net with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. So on the docket for today, we have a few stories from the major blue chips and some from the smaller ones as well. We've got PNC making an acquisition. We have Chase actually doing right for a change, at least temporarily honoring that dining credit issue we talked about last week. And of course, what will be the story of this week into next week is American Express's to continue to tease out the new version of the Platinum Card, this time with an actual launch date. So if that sounds interesting to you, of course, go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now, we will lead off with the good old friends at PNC. They're making a small acquisition, not a huge deal, but you know, if you are a bank promotion hunter, that bank acquiring another bank does sort of remove an option from the table. So if you take a look at this press release here, you can see that PNC has announced an agreement to acquire First Bank, which will significantly grow their presence in Colorado and Arizona. So I believe they're already in Colorado and Arizona, but if they're not, then it opens up, bank promotion opportunities over there. So again, First Bank with $26.8 billion in assets as of June 30th. They've got about 95 branches, so a little bit of a smaller acquisition, but again, this is generally how banks expand their footprint, just take over somebody else, swap the sign, hand out some new polos to the staff, and there you go. So again, if you are around either one of those First Bank branches, we have a promotion you've been eyeing, you might as well get it in. But again, not too big a deal there. PNC does have some pretty good promotions that they do now become available to you. They still have the worst user interface in the game, so maybe they'll take First Bank's interface. Probably not, but wishful thinking. So onward now, let's see if you were going to travel to Colorado and Arizona to get some bank promotions, whether you might be staying at a Marriott, and this next story could probably affect no one, but it is still a story nonetheless. And actually, the headline actually ruins the transition I just did for traveling to Arizona or Colorado, because as you can see, Marriott has removed Asiana Airlines as a transfer partner, which probably has nothing to do with traveling to Colorado or Arizona. So it didn't matter. Now this did end in June, so some time ago, and I don't think again it affect that many people. But a Marriott rep had confirmed it ended in June. They were unable to manually process these transfers. I'm not even really sure how many folks are actually transferring points out of hotel programs to airlines. I mean, I know it's possible, but for the most part, you seem to get here. We're going to earn points. Agnostic currency and then send them to where we want. So again, not a big deal. I mean, I guess technically less options is not as good, but again, I don't know that's going to affect a lot of people, so we can just keep moving on. Now this, in preparation for our Platinum Card discussion, Walmart Plus has updated some benefits in their streaming services, and why you would care about that is because the the Platinum Card does give Walmart Plus memberships, and many of you do love the Platinum Card, and anytime the coupons get just a little bit better, it is worth noting here. So if we take a look at this, again, this is less to do with American Express and more to do with Walmart. But as we said, Walmart Plus is raising the bar for memberships with the first of its kind streaming choice benefit, letting members pick between Paramount Plus and Peacock. Switch every 90 days and enjoy more value at no extra cost. Then the next thing is it isn't super helpful. They basically expanded the benefits. So great. Basically, you get a choice. And as we generally say here, choice is good. Now, I don't use either one of these streaming services, but you can pick and choose every 3 months, which isn't too bad. Because you could basically just alternate which ones you're watching quarterly to, get all your entertainment, just keep switching. I think that's pretty good. So overall, again, less to do with the Platinum Card, but again, many of you who have the Platinum Card are likely using this benefit. And, we'll see if this benefit actually carries over to the next iteration of the Platinum Card. Now, moving right along onto U.S. Bank, a bank that has fallen out of favor with many of us. Well, they continue to fall out of favor. This one isn't as drastic as the Smartly benefits we've talked about, but here you have it. This was found by Reddit, and basically a while back, U.S. Bank had announced devaluations, or basically restriction. You can still redeem the points on some of their cards, specifically the Altitude Go and the Altitude Connect, but they had nerfed it depending on how you redeem. So that's been widely reported, but that looks like it's also affected the Altitude Business Connect as well. So again, this gentleman on Reddit basically has the business version, and he was the one who noted, like, hey, didn't see this really talked about in any marketing material, but redeeming for statement credit is going from 1 point on the credit card equals 75 cents. You're taking a bit of a haircut. Travel is 1-to-1. Gift cards is 1 to 0.75. Redeeming for real-time rewards even is 1 to 0.75, which sucks. Redeeming to a checking or savings account is 1-to-1, which is nice. Redeeming on Amazon is 1-to-1. So they are messing around with it a little bit, trying to steer folks in. I've always found these restrictions somewhat weird, because redeeming to a checking or saving account is 1-to-1, but redeeming for a statement of credit is 1-to-0.75. That just seems a little bit unnecessary and punitive for no reason, honestly. Like, what's really the difference? I mean, I guess they could say you're going to leave it in their checking account or not, but either way, the business connect also gets affected, which is somewhat annoying, because I do think, as I search for like no annual fee travel cards, and granted the business connect does have an annual fee, but the personal connect they're both decent cards for like what I would say no frills travel. If you want to focus on multipliers, usually 4 back on travel. I think both of them have caps. The business one is much higher, 150K a year, but that's what you expect given the annual fee. So again, U.S. Bank just being even more difficult. And then last U.S. Bank story, again, we get to close out an end of an era together, some of us, because the Smartly program, if you got the bad letter, there were multiple letters, but again, they sent out multiple letters, and one of them basically said, hey, we're going to cap the earnings at $10,000 per month in spend, and then you could no longer get elevated earnings for, of course, taxes, insurance, tuition payments, things of that nature. That's happening to all the cards, as you know. We've covered it at length, but then the two versions of the letter says one would allow your investments to still account. So your brokerage account, which is where most people put the money at, one would no longer let your investments count, and then they would have to be that 100K or whatever you wanted to do tier would have to be in a checking account. Those letters kick in on September 15th. At the time of taping, it's September 13th. September 15th will be a Monday. So that will affect me. I got the poor letter, the bad letter, so I'm choosing, obviously, to leave the Smartly program. I have promised a video about it. We'll probably end up doing 2 videos. One about just the fallout and where I go, and the second one is about rejiggering my credit card setup, because it does quite leave a hole in it, missing out, your catch-all card. I don't have a 2% card. So we'll do that, but just a reminder there, I've stopped using my Smartly card about a few days ago, since I wouldn't want the transaction to post, not at 4%, so I started using my other cards. And, at least, spoiler, I did go back to my Bank of America Unlimited Cash. I had to product change back to it, but it's a whole story. It wasn't like the simplest thing, believe me. So we'll do that, just an awareness for that for you guys out there. And for the rest of you guys who do have, have carried on, we'll just keep spending to avenge us, because we do appreciate it. I'm not mad that folks get to live on. It makes me happy that you guys can avenge me. But yes, I've really just been waiting for the official end of it, so I can get a final total of how much I made through Smartly and include that in the video. So we should have that done. My statement ends at the end of September, so we should have that probably early October, I would imagine, for you. But let's keep going here. 2 more from the blue chips. We have the good old friends at the House of Diamond. So last week we covered our new look Sapphire Reserve card. It has that $300 dining credit if you go through Chase's platform with specially curated restaurants. And folks on Reddit, multiple folks had reported in and even shown letters for Chase's responses, where if they were paying at a certain kiosk, or like the credit card thing at the table, it was not triggering the credit. And of course they had written into Chase, and the Chase frontline customer service was like, well, no, it didn't work. You're out of luck, and they even said, well, hey, it may not work if you pay through this payment system. But again, you as a customer, you really don't get a choice of the payment terminals that you use. And how are you supposed to know? And at the time, Chase's frontline position was, nah, good luck. Looks like Chase has since course corrected, as this issue's likely made it higher up to someone who has the authority to make a decision. And so here we have it. So this came from the Doctor of Credit, but the bottom part here is what we want. So when contacted for comment, Chase provided the following information, quote, "We are aware of and actively addressing this issue. We are also proactively awarding credits to any card member who did not receive one prior to this being identified, including the customer whose Reddit thread you flagged." That's how I'll know I'll make it big, when I can reach out to get a comment for Chase, because I can now. So it sounds like he went to them, the doctor went to them directly, which is fantastic. I don't think they would answer if it was me. So there you go. Now, there is an interesting note here, that we are also proactively awarding credits to any card members who did not receive the benefit prior to this being identified. So now that it's identified, are they planning to send out mass communication to folks? Because I would imagine you're still going to have a bunch of people who have no idea this channel, the doctor, any of this stuff even exists. So I would imagine it's they're being a little bit specific on wording on purpose, but they would continue to fix it until the issue was resolved, as customers really have no control in this. This makes a lot of sense. That's what we said last time. I don't even believe I really gave Chase that hard of a time, given how it works against frontline customer service. They can't do anything. And when we both launch a card and something, both people are learning it's a new product. So I think this is a fair resolution. I have no problems with it. Once it's officially fixed, I would like them to put something out so you guys know who have the card. Do I need to keep going through this terminal, or can I use something else? But I would imagine they just update theirs. So it'd be much easier for Chase to update their back end than it would be to get the restaurant to change or remove the restaurant from the program. If it was American Express, I could see them being much, much more punitive. But hopefully they won't be, because American Express is finally set to show us their new Platinum card. That's a transition that works, not like Asiana and traveling stateside. So last week we talked about it. They put out a teaser video on Instagram about this mirror finished Platinum card, and it's still a mirror finish, but this time this one was found on Twitter, which is X, if you will, which is interesting because I didn't know there was a lot of companies still advertising over that. I like Twitter still, but it's definitely devolved ever since we got rid of the blue check marks, and we have no idea who anyone really is. Granted, companies do get the gold one. So anyhow, the point is, they're still the same mirror card. Last week it said coming soon. Now it says coming September 18th, which is this coming Thursday, which is pretty good because that actually lines up with the video schedule here. And I like it when things line up to work in my favor. Sometimes when things happen on Monday or Tuesday, we're like, by the time I got talked about it, it's, been a week, but this is better. It's just easier to make videos on Saturdays than during the week when you have an actual job. So anyhow, so I think what will happen next week is, I would imagine we'll get a new business person. Of course, we'll get two. I think we'll get a business person, or a business. Well, I keep messing this up. A business version and a personal version as well. And then that we will probably spend next Saturday or next Sunday talking about both of those, unless something else crazy happens. I'm going to imagine it's going to dominate the news. Overall, I think that if we had to put in guesses just to round out this show, it's at like $700 now. $895 feels like the answer. I'm on record in previous videos of saying it needs to be more expensive, like it needs to be like $1,500. I don't think they're going to do that. If the Sapphire reserves $800, I think it's going to be like $895 is probably the answer. I don't expect any new multipliers whatsoever. I do think there's an argument they should add like a 3x back on entertainment or something, especially how they're pushing to open more of these basically Amex lounges within stadiums in places like that. The entertainment would go very well. We've seen Capital One do very well with entertainment. I would like to see them add that type of multiplier. Don't think it's going to happen. Perhaps they add that to the green card when it gets refreshed. As far as credits, I don't think we're going to keep all of them. I think some of them are going to come and go, especially some of those credits that could be on the fence that, they were borderline. Do they get extended? Do they not? Like on the business side, the Dell credit had a cutoff date. The Adobe one had a cutoff date. And they gave basically, I say, short-term fixes. The staples like the Ubers are going to stay. The Marriott, the Hilton Gold status is going to stay. Priority Pass. But the biggest one I would say is how do they plan to address Sky Clubs being capped? Because again, they capped it a while back, and I've argued all the time. It's fine for most people to get 6 visits a year. It's still just the fact that the same price used to get you unlimited, and now it does not. I think that's the biggest thing they really need to address in this. I don't think they're going to. Maybe the only way they would is with like another spend requirement. Hey, it's unlimited if you spend $50,000 a year on the card or whatever. It's kind of like they do with Centurion. In guest passes overall, we've seen some of the credits leaked already. The FHR credit expanding to 600, I think, is very nice. We've seen a Lululemon credit in there as well. So, I don't think it's going to be anything that blows us away. No, I don't believe there's ever been an iteration of the Platinum card that's like, wow, this is crazy. So I think it will be more of the same, a higher price, more coupons. They'll find some other people to partner with for some memberships you've probably never heard of or don't want. No multipliers. I think entertainment's the one they should look at adding, but I really don't think it's going to be anything crazy, honestly. I think it's just our, every few year refresh. And of course, you're going to have a new paint job with a mirror finish, which is interesting. New card designs are always cool. And, with American Express, you're also like, what comes 6-8 months from now when they start doodling on the cards and tell you these are modern art ones. I'd love to see that. So anyways, that's what you have to look forward to next week, likely locking in a full story of platinum cards. So there you go. Let me know down below what else you've seen going on in the news this week, and of course what you hope to see from the platinum card next week. What will it take for you to not hate it, or eventually sign up? Or are you going to sign up now and try to lock in that what is it, $700, $795, $695 fee already? Love to get your thoughts and strategy on that. But anyways, guys, if you would like this one, of course, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel. So we're posting content just like this every single week. And of course, right back here every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. And of course, every single day over on ProfitableContent.com, which is of course the channel's blog. So always linked down below for you, and on the channel homepage where we have the latest credit card stories, new banking stories, all of it. We'll have the platinum card refreshes over there when they come out. Of course, we have credit card offers and plenty of bank promotions as well. Anyways, guys, that'll do it for this one. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you very soon in the next one.